morning, everyone. My name is Norma Allstrand. I'm the Platinum Adventures Director for Village Bank. You know, the bank that's right upstairs. We were just chatting. I've been with the bank. It'll be 21 years in July. Yes, I'm old enough to be working 21 years. Ha, ha, ha. I tell you. And I've been doing the Platinum Adventures for the last 7 years. Platinum Adventures is a 50-plus club. So I think you might all qualify to be in that club. And we do, some have to stretch it, yeah. So we do educational seminars, what you're going to get today. We do entertainment. We go to baseball games and theaters and, I don't know, walks in the woods. And then we do extended travel. And we are back traveling. We started traveling in July of 21. We do bus trips and flights. And we do international travel, too. So I'm going to introduce a couple of the guys that are standing to my left and let them tell you who they are, and then I'll do the presentation. So first up is Rafal. He is the branch manager for Village Bank right here in the area. So, Rafal.
Thank you, Norma. Yes, my name is Rafal. I'm managing the retail branches in Arlington Heights. One of them is actually upstairs, and I have two secrets for you today. One of the secrets is Village Bank is part of the Wintrust Bank, that we offer full services that is available to you in a small location upstairs. The second secret that I have for you to share today is, yes, we did receive J.D. Power and Associate Best Retail Satisfaction from the customers. So we want to thank you all if you participated in those surveys, and I welcome you upstairs to work with Nita. And if you want to visit our branch at 234 West Northwest Highway, that's our main location in Arlington Heights. And I'm going to introduce Rob Panero, who is our Wealth Financial Advisor.
Good morning. I'm Rob Panero. I am the financial advisor for here and other locations with Wintrust and Village. Been doing investments for about 30 years, so a long time. And anything you need, if you ever want to just review your accounts, go over different options, see if there's anything we can do better for you or give you different ideas, I'm here for you. You can always ask upstairs, and they can get me to come in here and meet with you individually. So anything investment related, if it's income, if it's dividend stocks, if it's annuities, just let us know. We'd be more than happy to sit down with you and go over it with you. And if you're a little confused on what you have, we can also help you with that and explain it to you and make sure you understand what you're in. So here's Norma. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so what Rob didn't say is you go to the doctor and he tells you you've got whatever ailment and you go, oh, wait, maybe I need a second opinion. Well, you should get a second opinion on your finances, too. So you've got your investment person who takes care of whatever investments you have, and you like the guy and you've been with him forever. Get a second opinion. It doesn't cost anything. You bring in your statements, you meet with Rob, he goes over them and he goes, hey, that guy knows what he's doing. Or maybe you should question this to your investment guy. And it doesn't cost anything. And you might meet a new friend. Anyway, enough of the commercials. Fraud. Let's talk fraud. So I got a funny thing on my screen. Hang on a second here. Okay. So what does the bank look for fraud? What does the teller line do? And we have a fraud department at the bank. What do they do? Well, I'm going to tell you one thing the fraud department doesn't do, and it's very important because we just had a customer make a mistake. And you know what? If you make a mistake, it's okay to tell somebody. Thing I want you to learn from today. Something doesn't feel right. You may have given money to someone and you're not sure you should have. Don't be embarrassed. Tell somebody. If you don't feel like you can tell your family member, come find one of us at the bank and tell us what happened. Let us help you, okay? So the story is, customer got a phone call, and it said it was from Wintrust Fraud. Well, we have a Wintrust Fraud department, and they might call you and say, is this transaction something you really wanted to do? The thing is, this fraudster said, I need your login information. I need your account number. I need your login information. I need your password. What should happen when that happens? Click, right? Hang up the phone. call the bank on a number you know is a good number, don't dial them back, and say, someone just called me. We need to freeze my accounts, okay? Unfortunately, this customer gave away their ID, gave away their password. Within minutes, money went from their from their savings to their checking, and then it went out through Zelle. Everybody know what Zelle is? No? Okay, Zelle is a way that you can send me money by just having my phone number, my cell phone number, okay? So there's a bank app, and on that app, there's a spot that it says Zelle. I put in there, I add your name, my friend Chuck, I put his name in there, and I put his cell phone number in there. I can now send him money from my account to his account. I don't need his bank account number. I don't need to know what bank it is. I don't need a routing number. All I need is his cell phone number. It's great when you want to pay somebody. It's great if somebody owes you money, okay? A lot of young people are using it, okay? I use it fairly often. But, like that, $2,000 was taken from this customer. They probably hadn't even hung up the phone yet and the money was gone. And because they gave away their password, they're out the money. There's nothing we can do. So, very important. We're not going to call you and say, give us your password, give us your ID, okay? We're not going to call you and say, I need your PIN number for your debit card or your ATM card, because we don't need that, okay? And we, meaning the bank, we can find your account number, so we don't give that out either, okay? So just be very careful. That was something that just came up this last week, and it just breaks my heart that somebody lost $2,000 because they thought Wintrust Fraud had called them. And again, we will call, but we'll never ask for that information. Okay? So fraud department, a little bit about what they do. They look for unusual transactions, something different than what you normally do. And they might contact you. So I'm going to move on to the next screen. What is fraud? Fraud is an unauthorized transaction. It could be done by auto debit or credit, debit card, or even a withdrawal at the teller window. Fraud can also be done by taking advantage of someone, convincing them to withdraw money with a promise of something in return, or to help someone. So, the teller line's going to be watching. If you show up with somebody at the window and you're doing something that's out of the ordinary, we're going to be looking for that. Fraud, something that isn't what you really want to do. Someone's convinced you to do something, or they've gotten a hold of your information, your account number, your passcodes, your debit card, whatever. What does the bank look for? Unusual activity or transactions. The use of online banking by someone that has never used it before, or increased activity. Debit card transactions for larger purchases, or an inactive card suddenly being used multiple times in the same day. Large cash withdrawals. Requests when the customer usually just does small amounts. Changes in ownership, phone number or address changes. We monitor all this. We require signatures to change things so we can verify who you are. So let's talk about online banking. Anybody use it? Okay. If all of a sudden you, sir, who didn't raise your hand, are using online banking, it's going to show up on a report. And somebody's going to look at it and go, does that seem right? Well, maybe we finally convinced you that it's a good thing to do. But we're going to kind of look at the types of transactions. And are you sending money to your utility bills? Or are you sending money to people overseas? We're going to look for that stuff. And it's pretty much automated, but it's something to think about. What to expect at the teller line. We pride ourselves on getting to know our customers, asking questions to our customers so we can get to know them. We will talk about their family, ask how they are feeling and such. If they seem nervous, or if there's someone with them, we want to ensure that the person isn't forcing them to do something they don't want to do. We check in to make sure everything is okay. We may ask the customer if they would like to go into an office to talk without that extra person around. Some of the questions or comments we might ask are, do you feel safe? Is someone forcing you to do something that you do not want to do? Or that seems like a lot of cash. Can you tell me why you need it in cash? A check would be safer. You know, we don't want you to lose the money in the parking lot. If needed, we're going to refuse a transaction. We might get another account holder involved. You know, maybe someone who's not in the building with you, we contact them and say, is this supposed to be okay? Is everything going all right? We may have to call the police and say, you know, I think something's going on here. Can you talk to them? They're not listening to us about maybe someone's taking advantage of them. We hope that your family member that's on the account or comes with you, and you say, oh, this is my son, this is my daughter. We hope they're not doing anything fraudulent, that they're trying to take advantage of you. But when the tellers talk to you and ask how you are and what's going on and try to get to know a little bit about you, it's not that we're nosy, it's we care. Okay? We want to make sure that our customers are okay, that nobody's taking advantage of you. Because why do we take advantage of older people? You're trusting. You grew up in a different world. We were talking a little bit about, you know, our history. And I know when I was a kid, my mom had a car issue one day. And so we walked across the street, got in the neighbor's car. The keys were in the ashtray, because back then cars had ashtrays. And I ran in the house and I said, Mrs. Muhlenbeck, Mom's taking your car. Okay. And we drove away. You know, that was the days. We can't do that kind of stuff now. But we all trusted each other years gone, you know? Fraud department, again, they're going to look for unusual transactions, spikes in activities, higher dollar amounts. You know, are you out of state? You know, transactions that are out of state and you've never been out of state before, and it's at the liquor department and it's at the, you know, the casino, whatever. They might contact you, you know, by the phone number we've got on file and say, hey, are you really out of state? Is everything okay? You know, you're using your debit card like constantly. They might freeze the card for a moment until we get a hold of you to say, is this what you really want to be doing? You know, we're not telling you can't spend your money and have a good time and go out of state, but we want to make sure that nobody's gotten into your information. Because one of the big things is fraudsters, they'll get your debit card information, credit card information, and they'll sell that information to somebody out of state. And boom, transactions start happening. Now, the fraud department's going to look into it. They're going to make some determinations that it was not unauthorized. You signed some paperwork, and we'll do what we can to get you your money back. Okay? So, this is kind of the first slide that I talked about before. We're here to help protect you and your hard-earned money. Don't be afraid to talk to someone. If you ever feel pressure into doing something, or if you think that someone has taken advantage of you, talk to your banker, a trusted family member or friend or a social worker. We're all here to help without judging. It's the one thing I want you to learn from today. Now we're going to talk about some of the scams that are out there. And I'm sure you all have stories. So the grandparents scam. Hello, Grandpa, I'm in trouble. Please don't tell Mom. Johnny? Well, now he's got your grandkid's name, okay? Don't ever say their name. Who is this? Well, it's your grandson. Well, which one? Even if you don't have grandsons, ask which one, you know? What do they know? They try to disguise a voice. They're going to tell you that they're been a victim of a scam. They're in jail. They've been in a car accident. You know, as soon as they say don't tell family, you hang up the phone. You call the kid's mom or dad and say, hey, what's going on with Johnny? I just got a call. I'm sure it wasn't him, but check on him for me, will you? Or better yet, don't answer the phone. If you don't know who's calling, don't answer the phone. They're going to leave you a message. You call them back. Okay? An IRS scam. Okay? They call and say you owe money for your taxes. You know, they'll give you a bogus IRS toll-free number to call us back on. Don't. They'll give you fake badge numbers. They'll use words that sound official, you know. They may even know the last 4 digits of your social, okay? Again, don't answer the phone if you don't know who it is. They'll leave a message if they're a real person, and then you can contact them back. And if somebody calls you, again, from the bank, let's say, and you're not familiar with the number, I call you and I say, hey, you're going on a trip with me. I need your food choice. I need payment. If you're not comfortable, it's me calling you, okay? My caller ID may look funny because I'm sitting in a different branch or whatever it is. So you know what, Norma? Let me call you back later. I don't have time right now. You go pick up the phone number that you know is mine. You call me back and go, hey, I just was verifying it was you because I wasn't sure. Okay, no problem. Because if I'm asking you to pay for an event, I might ask you, hey, which checking account do you want to use? You know, give me the last digits of that number, and then I'll find it for you. Because you might have multiple checking accounts, and I don't want to take it from the wrong account, you know, or say, you know, the account with the smaller balance, or, you know, something. Or you might give me a credit card for my events over the phone, because that's what I need to process it. But you've initiated that by making the original reservation for an event, okay? But if you're not comfortable, it's me calling you and asking you questions. Hey, Norma, I got to call you back later. I can't do it now. And I'm perfectly fine with that. You might get bogus emails from the IRS, and that there's a site that looks like it's real, okay? They may threaten you jail time or losing your driver's license. Hang up. Call from a different number if you think it's a legitimate thing and you need to check it out. Police departments, you know, we all get those calls looking for donations for the police department. The police departments don't do that, okay? It's somebody else who's trying to get donations on behalf of the police department. The IRS is going to send you written notification if they want something from you. They're not going to ask for payment by credit card or gift cards. You know, if someone calls you and says, oh, you need to buy gift cards to do this, hang up. You don't need to buy gift cards to do anything unless you're giving a gift to someone you love, you know. They're not going to ask for personal or financial information by email or over the phone. The IRS just doesn't do that. They don't have time for that. They're going to send letters if they need you. I do have phone numbers here on if you need to call the IRS. If someone contacts you and it's fraud, basically, you want to report the incident. You can go to the best place to go is the Attorney General's office, Illinois Attorney General's office, and they've got all these phone numbers out there and places where you can report things. They can assist you if there's been some kind of fraud going on. They are a great organization to help with any of this stuff. Another one is the lottery or sweepstakes scams. So someone calls you or emails you or texts you or whatever and says, ooh, you won. Okay, really? You know, you got to play to win to start with, okay? And even if you are a player, they're not going to call you and tell you won because you know what? They want you to lose that ticket so they keep the money, right? Okay, do you really think the state of Illinois wants to pay out every time somebody wins a lottery? No, they'd like that money to go be forgotten about for whatever it is, 6, 8, 10 months, whatever it is, and it goes back into the pool. They're not going to call you and tell you you won. And furthermore, they're not going to call you and say, hey, you just won. You need to buy a check or gift cards and send it to us for the taxes, and then we'll send you your money. You know, the Canadian lottery, that's the big one. Oh, it's the Canadian lottery. When was the last time you were in Canada? Not one hand? I was there in 2019, I think it was, whatever it was. I didn't play the lottery. I'm not going to get called. And I know for a fact, because my husband just won a little tiny bit, if it's over $1,000, you have to go into, used to be my old high school in Des Plaines, Maine North. You go in there and you fill out forms, and they take the taxes. They only give you a portion of it, you know, and it's all, they didn't call him and tell him he won. How do they know who has the ticket? Again, ignore it, don't answer the phone. So here's tips for avoiding telephone scams. You can't win a contest unless you play. Okay, never pay to play, meaning to win. You got to pay to play if you want to buy a lottery ticket, yes, but you're not going to pay somebody to get your winnings. Be suspicious. Wiring funds. Why do I need to wire you funds? You're supposed to send me money. Pay attention to warning signs from the financial institution. If the caller claims an emergency, check it out at a number you know before to be valid. And when someone says, don't tell, it's a secret, oh boy, that's a red flag. Don't get involved. Again, don't answer the phone. They'll leave a message. How many times have I said that? Enough? Probably. Oops, I thought I changed screens. There we go. Debt collections. Scammers trick victims into paying a debt that doesn't exist. They may contact you by phone. You ask them a question, they refuse to answer it. They may have information about you. Scare tactics, threatening you. They may pose as law enforcement or government employees. You ask for a phone number or mailing address and they refuse. They may be asking for personal financial information. Or they may ask you again to buy a prepaid debit card and send the card in, okay? Debt collectors. Yeah, we get, the phone calls are out there and they're legitimate, calling, you know, you've got a medical bill that wasn't paid or whatever. But even that, how do you know it's really your medical bill if they're calling you? You know, you need to balance those explanation of benefits to the bills. You know, was I really at the doctor this day? You know, there's times when a real debt collector might call you for whatever reason. But for the most part, everybody in this room, you got Medicare, right? They're taking care of it. You got your supplemental insurance, they're taking care of it. You probably see very little bills. Anytime you do get one, question it, because you want to make sure it's actually a bill for you and you were there on that day to service and not a screw up along the way. And unfortunately, screw ups happen, you know. But if you just pay a bill because, oh my gosh, I got a bill in here from the doctor's office, I better pay it, you may not be responsible for it. You know, they may have not coded it correctly. And so Medicare or something doesn't want to deal with it. And you got to look at that stuff. And if you can't look at it yourself, you get confused, get a trusting person to help you look, okay? So a debt collector calls. Ask them their name, phone number, and address. If they refuse, you know it's garbage. Ask for more information. Ask for information in writing. I'm not going to discuss this over the phone. Send me something in writing. I'll look at it. You have a right to get a breakdown of the amount owed, where it's from. And again, don't give financial information out. Keep copies of any paperwork that you do get, okay? Charity scams. I know everyone in this room has big hearts, and we give money to people. Going back to the Attorney General's office, you can go to their website and put in Norma's charity. Guess what? It's not going to come up. But anyways, you can put in these different charities, and they'll tell you whether they're registered, if they're a legitimate charity. So right now we've got all this going on in Ukraine, right? Russia. There's all these people out there collecting money. How do we know that the money's actually going to get where they say it's going to go? Every time there's some kind of a disaster, be it a flood, a tornado, a war, all of a sudden people are collecting money for these charities. And we don't know if they're a legitimate charity or not. So check it out. Somebody calls you on the phone and says, we're collecting money for this, the police department. You know what? You tell them, I've already allotted my budget for the year to the charities I work with. You can go research theirs, and maybe you decide you want to give them some money, but research before you just give them money. Now, I'm not saying when the guy's standing on the corner at holiday time with the ringing the bell, toss your coins in there. You don't have to research that, because we all know that's, what it is. But don't just add a new charity to your list without researching it. Someone calls and says, hey, thanks for your pledge. Do you want to do it again this year? And you don't remember ever doing it. They're just trying to catch you off balance, off guard. Again, if someone asks you for an account number or a routing number, you know what? I'll send a check in. You give me the address and I'll send a check. You don't give it to them over the phone. Like I said, ask for information. Check out if it's really a legitimate charity. Keep a record of your donations. So at the beginning of the year, you should set a budget. I'm going to give $500 this year to charity. And I'm going to give $100 to that lady because I like her and her charity. And I'm going to give $100 to this one because I like that charity. And then I'm going to keep $200 for something that might come up later. Maybe one of my kids' friends or whatever is selling cookies or raising money so they can go to Washington, D.C. or whatever. To me, that's charity money. But set a budget as to how much you're going to spend and stick to it, okay? And if you don't have the money to spend, don't spend it. If you write a check every day for $10, it adds up to a lot of money over the year, okay? And there are people out there that write checks constantly. Oh, but they sent me those nice little stickers, for my return envelope. I really should give them some money. No, because once you do it once, they've now sold your name to 100 people, and you're going to get them from all those places too, okay? Figure out who you're giving your money to and stick to it, okay? I get envelopes all the time with the return. I have no idea where they got my name from, no clue what charity I gave to that sold my name, but I refuse to send them any more money. I'm not doing it. If they want to waste money sending stickers out to me, that's their problem, okay? Figure out who it is and stick to it. You need to also know, are they tax exempt or tax deductible? Tax deductible contributions to this organization are eligible for tax deductions on your returns. Tax exempts, they don't have to pay taxes. Always pay by check or credit card. Never send cash donations or wire money. Again, they're selling Girl Scout cookies. You don't have to write them a check. You throw them the $5 for the expensive Girl Scout cookies, or toss a little in the pot that's sitting there. But write a check, pay by credit card, so you have a paper trail. Keep a record of what you've done. And my last point on here says, beware of charities that spring up suddenly in response to current events and disasters. Computer and internet scams. Phishing. It looks authentic, an email or text you get. The web page is tricking you to click. Give out personal information. Always look. It may look like a real website that you're on. If you're not sure and somebody emailed it to you or whatever, go find it yourself. Go look and search it yourself. I get emails every so often from friends, and all it is a website. I refuse to click on it. I might call my friend and go, hey, Jerry, did you just send me an email with a website? And they're like, what are you talking about? Occasionally, I've had them go, oh, yeah, I thought you'd be interested in that. Well, send me a note. I'm not just going to click on a website. Well, I emailed it to you. Well, how do I know it's really you? You want to make sure that whatever you're clicking on your computer is something you really want to go to and not just something. My dad, he's 91 now, he got a message that his virus protection on his computer was up. Guess what? He don't have virus protection with that company. But he panicked. Ended up on the phone with somebody. He let them look at his computer. Jacob, you know how to do that, right? Okay. He let them get on his computer and look at his computer. And then all of a sudden he went, oh man, I'm in trouble. And he hung up the phone. I was at a baseball game in Milwaukee with a group of seniors. I can't hear a phone at a baseball game. And he's calling, but he won't leave a message. Why? Because he was embarrassed to leave me a message. He would tell me, but he didn't want to leave me a message. Shorten the story, once I finally got the message, I'm like, Dad, call this place. I'm calling the bank. Shut it all down. You goofed. He goes, I know I did. I'm so sorry. I go, it's okay. At least you called me. Now, they didn't get any money yet, but they have all his passwords. They have all his logins because they got on his computer. You know, they copied his computer, right? So 2 months later, all of a sudden I'm getting calls from people. Hey, what's going on with your niece? I'm like, what are you talking about? They had sent an email from my dad to all his contacts in his email that said his niece was in trouble and needed help. Could you send money? Do you know how hard it is to contact everybody in your email that you've ever emailed over the last how many years? Okay. I had to do a lot of talking to let people know, Dad did not email you. There's nothing wrong with his niece. Everything's good. But it was 2 months after his computer had been hacked that they used his data. So you think, oh, nothing happened, within 24 hours. It can happen anytime. So changing passwords if something happens, changing account numbers, changing everything. Or just be careful when you're clicking on things. So here's some telltale language. We suspect an unauthorized transaction on your account. To ensure your account is not compromised, please click the link below and confirm your identity. No. During our regular verification of accounts, we couldn't verify your information. Click here to update and verify your information. Our records indicate your account was overcharged. Call us to receive your refund. And when you call, they're going to say, oh, give me your account number and and then all of a sudden they're charging things on your account. So I got a message, the middle one here, that said I needed to verify my email. And this was at work, okay? So it said, something about, we need you to verify your email. I'm like, you emailed me. What are you talking about? So I sent it to something we have it in our business called Spoof. I get a message back and it says, no, it's legitimate. You need to do this. I said, well, it looked like a fake to me and I wasn't going to do it. We also get emails at work and they're trying to trick us. And when you send it to Spoof, it comes back, congratulations, you passed the test. This was a fake email. I wish everybody like you got those too, to test you. But you're not going to click on anything you're not supposed to. Romance scam. So this is a newer one for me, okay? There's all these online dating sites, and people go out there and they find relationships. Well, you start talking to somebody, and it's all online. So someone you meet online, and you start having feelings for them maybe. It goes on for months, but you'd never met them. So they want to come visit, but they don't have the money. Or they're having trouble paying their bills, and then they ask you for money. Well, you care about me, don't you? Really? Don't you want to meet in person? I'd love to come see you, but I live so far away, and, I lost my job. And don't send money to people you don't really know. Knowing them over the computer, you don't know them. Okay? I'm amazed. I work with a couple local police departments on how often this is happening now. With this whole COVID, people are staying home, they're not getting out, whatever. And they're preying on, older individuals, the seniors of the world. So it's okay to date off those apps. I have friends who have done it, and they've met some wonderful people. But don't start sending them money. And even if you do meet them in person because they're in the next town over, go Dutch on dinner. You don't want to be paying for dinner every time because you don't know that they may just be in it for the money. get to know the people. Don't let them come to your house and pick you up. Meet them at a restaurant, in a public place. Make sure you know who you're talking to. Get to know them. Ask the local police to run a background check. I'm kidding. And COVID-19 scams, really? Like, we don't have enough going on. There are scams for COVID-19. Fake vaccines. Why? Why would they give you a fake vaccine? Test kits that are fake, they're all going to come up positive. Air filtration systems, you don't have to worry about that here, but, maybe some of your family members got a knock on the door or a call that, we can upgrade your air system at home. Are they legit what they're doing? I don't know. I wouldn't know the difference. But they're out there. Errand helpers. I know you don't want to go out of your house. I'll go get your I'll do that bank deposit for you. Watch out who's trying to help you, because the scammers and the fraudsters, unfortunately, they're really smart people. They just don't use it for the good. And they're making money off of us. That is my presentation. Questions? Thank you. No questions? Nobody's got any other types of scams that I missed? Yes, sir.
I get a lot of emails, but in order to delete them, I have to click on them and then hit delete. Am I, in fact, opening up the door to anybody by doing that?
Jacob, can you answer that question? Okay. So the question is, if he clicks on an email to open it up so he can delete it, maybe they can get into something. Most likely not, because you're not clicking on a link. You can view your emails, like just the header of it, and then delete it from there. That's what I would do. I wouldn't, don't actually open it, just have it as the little preview screen. And you can set up your emails so that you can see the list of what's there and get just a preview on the side. You can manipulate your view on your emails. But yeah, opening them, once you open it, you never know what you've done. Excuse me. Yes.
Do not download any attachment. Do not follow links that they will bring you to different websites.
Right, yeah. Clicking on a link, downloading something, not a good thing. Back here.
Sometimes if you hover your mouse, the arrow over like a website or over your email address, it'll actually give you what that email address is, and say it's coming from the bank, and it'll say info at, but it won't say Village Bank, it'll say some other different address, and then you go to that.
Right. Yeah, so what she's saying, if you hover over the email or a link, it'll tell you where it's, pointing to. Look for spelling errors. Like our email is bank@village.com, okay? Well, if you get something that says Bank Village, then the @ sign, you got to know what website you're looking at. You got to know what's legitimate, but it may look like it's us, but there's just something off. Maybe there's 2 L's and, there's only supposed to be 1 L in whatever the title is. So you can hover over things, but again, if someone sends you something, call them and go, hey, did you really send me this? Anything else? Well, you guys are easy. Thanks for coming out today. I appreciate it. If you have any other questions, you want to talk to Rob or Rafal about investments or banking, or me about the Platinum Adventures Club, we'll stick around for a little while. We'd be happy to talk to you. I do have our current newsletter up here that I can give you about our upcoming events. I know Luther Village does day events, so we don't want to compete with them. But we do have some different things that we offer, seminars at the branches and our extended travel. And I think Rob has a handout here that we can get to everybody before you leave. So thank you.